So today we're going to dig into UpVote. It's a grassroots organizing app that's really changing the game for political campaigns. And it's not about spending more on ads, it's about tapping into the power of personal connection.
All right, so here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the big problem that modern campaigns are wrestling with. Then we'll look at the strategy that's solving it, called relational organizing. We'll see how UpVote makes that strategy a reality, and finally, we'll get to the good stuff, the results.
You know, anyone who's worked on a campaign knows this frustration. You're blasting out text, you're sending emails, running all these ads, but it feels like you're getting less and less back. And why is that? Because we're just bombarded with stuff, and voters have gotten really good at tuning out all that noise.
And this right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. Campaign research shows this over and over again. It's not just what you say, it's who's saying it. A text from some random number is easy to ignore. A text from your neighbor or your cousin, well, that's a whole different story.
This really just lays it all out, doesn't it? The old way was a volume game, just shouting a generic message into the void, hoping someone hears it. The new way, the way that actually works, is all about trust. It's about empowering your own supporters to have real one-on-one conversations with people they already know.
So that brings us to the actual strategy here. The smartest campaigns are realizing they don't have to shout louder. Instead, they can tap into this incredibly powerful and often completely overlooked asset, the existing relationships of their supporters.
And that strategy has a name, relational organizing. It sounds kind of academic, but the idea is super simple and, honestly, pretty powerful. You're just turning your supporters into actual organizers who can get their own friends and family fired up and ready to vote.
So why does this work so well? Well, first, it's all built on a foundation of trust. You're just way more likely to listen to a friend than some stranger from a call center. Plus, the conversation is authentic. It's not a script. And then you get this amazing network effect where one single volunteer can actually mobilize their entire social circle.
Okay, so the strategy is brilliant, but how do you actually do that for a whole campaign? How do you manage it and scale it up? Well, that's exactly where the technology comes in. And that's how UpVote positions itself as the engine that makes this all possible.
I really like this analogy they use. Think of UpVote as this high-performance race car. It's got all this power under the hood, but it's not going to drive itself. The campaign manager, that's you, is the driver, using all the controls and data to steer the entire program and empower every single volunteer.
Okay, so let's flip the script now and look at this from the volunteer's perspective. This is really the beating heart of the whole system. How do you take someone who's passionate about your campaign and turn them into a super effective organizer right from their own phone?
For a volunteer, the whole process is designed to be incredibly simple. You log in, you run this cool feature called Contact Match that shows you which of your friends are on the voter list, and boom, you build your personal list. From there, you can send personalized texts, recruit your other friends to join you, and even track who's voted in real time. And let's zoom in on these tools for a sec. Contact Match is the real magic ingredient here. It instantly tells a volunteer who they know that they can talk to. Then they can use bulk SMS with pre-approved templates, filter their list to get super targeted, and even grow the whole volunteer team by inviting their friends right there in the app. Okay, now let's jump out of the volunteer shoes and into the campaign manager seat. This is the command center. From the admin portal, you get this bird's eye view of the entire operation, with some seriously powerful tools to manage your strategy, your data, and your people. And here's a really key concept for getting organized. You can put voters into a dynamic group. Think of everyone who lives on Grant Street. That list updates automatically. Or you can use a static tag for a fixed list, like everyone who came to that one conference. It's a simple little difference, but it gives you so much flexibility in how you target your outreach. And the admin portal is just packed with tools. You can run these super detailed searches on your voter file, build custom dashboards to see what's working, manage all your volunteers, set up phone banking campaigns, and even use something called Smart Match to clean up messy data from other lists. It's the whole shebang.
So we've got the strategy and we've got the tool. But here's the billion-dollar question. Does it actually work? This is the moment of truth, right? Let's look at the results from actual campaigns out in the wild.
This is the number that makes you sit up and pay attention. We're talking about more than double the turnout. That's not a small bump. That's not a little improvement. That is a massive, potentially election-winning difference. And it's not just some abstract data point. You hear it from people on the ground. Take Davida, a lead organizer, who says they've seen remarkably high turnout, and they link it directly back to using this tool. That's the kind of real-world feedback you want. And that feedback turns into actual wins. Lauren W., a field director, saw turnout nearly triple in key primary races. We're talking about securing victories and winning seats in Congress. This is where it all pays off. And here, Dr. Alan Jacob points out this pattern of consistent winning, but he also touches on something fascinating, the power of social pressure. When you know your friends and your neighbors are all voting and paying attention, you're just that much more likely to get out and do it yourself. And this quote from campaign manager Jessica H. really ties it all together. For her campaign, this wasn't just some app they used. It was the technological backbone. It fundamentally transformed their entire strategy. I mean, the consensus from the people using it seems pretty clear. So, we'll just leave you with this question to think about. In today's world filled with all this digital noise, maybe the most powerful asset your campaign has is just the real, authentic relationships of your supporters. And the big idea here is that the right technology can finally unlock that power.